Yo, what is going on, everyone? It's your boy J Palms back with another video. Today I'm going to be cooking up a trap beat using synths and stuff that you traditionally find in like a Travis Scott beat, but it's a little bit different. It ended up sounding not quite like a Travis Scott type beat, which I had planned. But that is often the case with my sessions. I'll plan to make a certain type beat and then it comes out sounding quite different and I just run with it. So yeah, today I started off with whenever I don't really know what sort of sound I want to go with or where I really want the melody to go. I just open up Addictive Keys, which is a piano, and just start playing in some keys. So that's exactly what I did today. I started in A minor because that's just the easiest minor scale. I know it off by heart kind of thing. But I believe I did change the scale halfway through. So yeah, it starts off in A minor, and I just laid down some top notes and put a few bass notes in, and it sounded pretty good. It sounded quite kind of scary, kind of menacing. So yeah, and so once I've got kind of the general idea of the melody down, I'll open up another, a different sound on the same channel. So here I've opened up Omnisphere and I found like this synth sound, because recently I've been using a lot of synths because I was never really, because it's quite a broad term, I never really wanted to go, when I first started making beats, I kind of started off with like real instruments, guitars, pianos and stuff like that. But now, like listening to the track that comes out today, it uses quite a lot of synths and it's just a really powerful sound. So yeah, I just looked into the synth bank and found this preset that I liked. And here on the second channel, I'm actually adding, so I took the bass notes of the original melody and then put in another channel and raised them a few octaves, and then just put in a pad preset from Omnisphere, which sounded really, really nice. And I often like to do that with the bass notes, just boost them up a few octaves and then change the instrument and just have them playing over the original melody that I've made, because it just it gives it a bit of texture and just beefs it up a little bit, makes it sound a bit more wide. And so yeah, I've just started here on the third melody, which is a bell, I think. Travis Scott likes to use quite a lot of bells, and yeah, I just felt like that a bell was necessary here. So I just laid down a quick melody, again in A minor, a simple little EQ, just taking out the lows and the highs. No real reason as to why I did that. I just think it, when the sound is as strong as the bells are, I just want to sort of make room for the bass and the hi-hats. And that's all really that is. And I think I had some RC20 on all these melodies later, because it just gives it a richer, it just really enhances the melodies and makes them sound quite like trappy. So here I'm just changing the key. So I started off in A minor and then I think I boosted it one semitone to A sharp minor. And here I'm starting on the drums. I start with the snares, because that just gets the general sort of bop of the track. Boost some of the, I take out some of the lows, but not too much, because there's a certain frequency in the mid lows of snares that gives it its kind of texture. It gives it, that's the sort of beta hitting the drum of the snare, and it just gives it a lot of texture. So be sure not to fully take those out. And yeah, so here are the hi-hats. I've been doing less and less rolls nowadays, but obviously rolls just give it a bit of spice, give it a bit of, they add a bit of fun into the drums kind of thing. And what I did there was I've gone into the velocity editor in Logic, and just made that roll so that the velocity increases as it goes on. So it just kind of makes it sound as if the hi-hat is quite far away at first, and it kind of quickly comes into quite close to the microphone, and it just gives it a really cool effect. It just keeps it a bit more interesting than just having rolls. And here I did the same, but in the opposite order. I had it so that the velocity was higher at first, and then it lowered as it went on, which gives a kind of fade out feel, just kind of the opposite of the roll I did before. Here I'm just laying down some open hats. Very, very consistent basic pattern, but what I like to do is I get one open hat and pan it to the right, and then I get another one and pan it to the left, because it gives a bit of energy to the track, and when you have different drums panning, it just stops the drums from just sounding super stale and gives them a bit of movement. So here I'm just hunting for a new 808 sound, because I don't really play in the key of A sharp minor that much. I needed to find a new A sharp 808, because I like to keep it in the root note. I could just put it in and then play it at a slightly lower semitone, but it kind of, I think when the root note of the key isn't the root note of the 808 sample, it doesn't sound quite as strong as if you have that solid, you know, the sample that is in that key, or the root note of the scale anyway, because obviously that's how it was recorded, and that's how it was supposed to be, and so it sounds a lot better. So I always make sure that the 808 sample I'm using is the root note of the scale that I'm working in. And so here I'm doing a similar thing that I did with the hats with the 64th notes, and increasing the velocity as it goes on. But with 808s it creates a kind of reverse 808 effect, as opposed to, I mean, it does sound like it's getting rapidly closer to the mic, but it does just, it's not quite the same as just getting an 808 and reversing it. But I often find that just sounds quite a lot out of time most of the time, because you're not, like, unless the point that the 808 is coming in is like right at the start of the audio clip. I mean, you can cut it so that it is, but I think this method is really effective, and yeah, you should be able to hear it as the beat plays in the background, the reverse. I think it sounds quite nice. And so here I had the drums, but I thought there was something missing. I felt like there was some percussive elements missing, and usually I have snares or perks that play off the snare, but in this beat, I'm not gonna lie, I did forget to do that, which is probably why it felt like it needed something. But this really just beefed up the drums and yeah, just filled that space that I originally thought that there was. And so yeah, with the EQ, I've just basically cut all the lows and the mid lows, and then boosted some of the highs, and then I even pitched it up a couple semitones, because it was just it sounded quite muddy in the mix when I first added it, and with all the other drums in there, it's very important to make sure these specific elements like shine with the rest of the drums, which is why I had to pitch it up a little bit and use that sort of an EQ, just because it sounded a little too muddy without it, and like it wasn't there without it. So yeah, that about wraps it up for this video, guys. Please just drop me a subscription, a like would be very much appreciated. My next video, I think I'm going to be doing a lo-fi beat, and at the end of this video I'll just show you, I'll just play it right from the start, and you can see which layers are what when it comes in. So yeah, next video is going to be a lo-fi beat, and yeah guys, that about does it. Cheers.